Honestly, it doesn't bother me. I mean, it's not Vegas, what you grow up watching your whole life, but I'm pretty excited about Arlington because if it does never move again, I'll be able to say like, hey, I got to go to Arlington. I think that'll be a
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool deal. As far as like right now, getting prepared for the finals, I don't like that I can't ask somebody what to expect, like because nobody really knows what to expect. Like I don't like that feeling of not knowing.
This is Season 3 of The Score, the Team Roping Journal's regular podcast, where the team roping world talks. We've told the stories of some of the greatest cowboys, horses, and moments in the sport, and we're so far from done. In 2020, we'll bring you more of what you've come to expect, like interviews with the best cowboys and cowgirls we know, and we'll dive even deeper into subjects you care about. Look for more audio editions of the Team Roping Journal stories you might have missed in print, and learn about the great horses shaping the sport and great challenges facing our industry. All this and more in 2020. I'm Chelsea Schaefer. Today's episode is brought to you by Cactus Ropes. There's the future, there's the swagger, there's the thriller, there's the mini thrill. There's a ton of brand new ropes right now that are twisted perfectly for the climate, for the conditions. Wherever you are roping, the ropes are made just for you right in those conditions. So that means if you are in Texas and you're fixing to rope in Arlington, Decatur at the World Series, anywhere out there, there will be a rope twisted just for you. You can find them at Cowboy Christmas all over Fort Worth. If you are at the World Series finale in Las Vegas, there are ropes twisted for you there by Barry Berg and his crew at Cactus Ropes. Check them out on the mezzanine at the South Point. The ropes will be perfect for the conditions and ready on the first swing. Check out the future, the swagger, the thrill, the mini thrill, and they've got new ropes coming out this month. Check it out, cactusropes.com. Hey everybody, it's Chelsea Schaefer. Welcome to The Score. We are about 3 weeks out of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo in Arlington, Texas. You will be able to follow along with the whole NFR through this podcast. We will do a nightly podcast interview with the go-round winners. We're going to have to see how it works because the press room this year is going to be way up high, kind of in the stands, and it like any press box at a professional sporting event, it's going to be very far removed, unlike the Thomas and Mack where we are right next to the alley and they bring the contestants in. With COVID this year, they might be doing Zoom meetings with us with these guys. So we're going to have to see how all of this shakes out. I'll do my best to get as close to great interviews that you're used to as possible. So just something interesting to keep in mind. It's going to be a little bit of an adjustment, but we're going to do everything we can to make it as engaging and as up close and personal as you're used to while keeping everybody healthy. With the NFR where it is, we will be so close to Stephenville where a lot of guys are going to be at home practicing during the day. So we'll be there as we can, and when people are practicing and they invite us to come watch, you'll be able to follow along with how everybody's practices during the NFR are going, which is a little bit different than things were in Las Vegas. So today's episode is with NFR rookie Nelson Wyatt. He is from Alabama. He's a former Resistol Rookie of the Year, and he now, like so many other guys, calls Stephenville home. I sat down with him just a few weeks before his finals appearance, and boy, he was as cool, calm, and collected as any finals rookie I've ever spoken to. So I hope you enjoy this episode of The Score, brought to you by Nelson sponsors at Cactus Ropes. Hi, Nelson.
Hey Chelsea, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Welcome to corporate America and the way IT works, that I can record your calls because you click on a weird little link that I send you in your email. So thank you for doing that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's the first time I've had to do that.
I used to happily record all of our interviews in person, but 2020 happened and everything's different now. So thank you for tolerating this.
The Rona got everybody messed up.
Oh man, it sure does. How has 2020, the coronavirus, that whole situation been for you this year? How has it impacted your life?
Well, I mean, it slowed my radioing down a little, I guess. Made it a little tougher. Um, I get weird looks when I don't wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that would be the biggest thing it's been on me is just the good radios cancel.
Yeah, for sure.
A bummer, not getting to go to Houston and Reno and stuff like that.
Totally. It was such a weird year as far as the rodeos go. What has it been like? Have you been in Texas? Have you been in Alabama? Where have you spent most of your downtime?
I stay mostly in Stephenville. I've been staying with Jake Cooper. I went home for 2 weeks. Well, I guess this spring I did go. I went back, I guess, whenever the shutdown was. And then I went home another 2 weeks right after Waco and got back before Capitalist. And now I'm just going to hang out here and practice.
Well, Jake Cooper's place is a pretty decent place to get ready for the NFR. Lots of people to rope with around there.
Oh, yeah. It's just Stephenville being around, guys that seems like there's so many guys out here that rope good, and it's way better being out here, getting to be around it every day.
Yeah. Do you like life in Stephenville? I feel like you're either a Stephenville fan or you could totally do without Stephenville. Like, life in Stephenville is good for you?
I am a Stephenville fan. I love to be able to be out here and rope every day around the best guys. I feel like it's definitely helped my roping.
Mm-hmm. Who's in your practice pen with you? Who do you get to practice with the most?
We practice. Usually it tends to be me and Jake and Levi and Jake's partner Lane Mitchell. He'll come over here and rope with us too, and there'll be different guys in and out on different days. It's mostly me and Jake doing the heading, and then if Lane or Levi can't come over, we'll call another healer and still try to practice every day.
That's good. Treat it like a business pretty much as far as that goes.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Gotta do it every day.
Yeah. Well, take me back to Alabama, though. What was it like for you as a kid learning to rope with your family back there?
Well, my dad, he team roped, and then he kind of got me started, and then it was like, I was just hooked after I started. Really, I started junior rodeoing, and then I high school rodeoed, and there's amateur associations, which I grew up healing. And I healed all the way through college, and I kind of started heading probably my second year of college. Just there was a lot of good healers at the amateur rodeos that needed headers, and not very many. There wasn't, like I said, there was more healers than headers, so I'd always rope the dummy in high school, and I knew how to just play around on the dummy and reach. I kind of knew how to do that, but then it was a big difference whenever I got on a horse. I didn't ride very good heading. I couldn't, if I needed to go catch, I really couldn't. It was just, I could kind of go really fast, or I could be too long trying to catch. So it was just it's been a long progress to get to now.
Yeah. How did you change that?
Well, when I had a practice head horse when I first started heading that I would just turn steers for people on, and then he was pretty slow, but you could run a bunch of steers on him. So I had him first, and then I bought a yellow horse from one of my good buddies that was older, that would score and was pretty flat, that I rodeoed on. And then I bought the sorrel horse that I had the first 2 years that I pro rodeoed, and he was different than anything that I'd ever rode. He was fast, and he was running towards the cow, and it was hard for me to go from those horses spotting those steers out to a horse that was trying to catch the cow. And that was when Kevin and Daniel had moved back to Alabama, and then I started going down and ripping with him some. And he kind of helped me with my riding and my getting me to catch more. And it was just.
As far as your riding goes, were you not riding the whole way to the steer? What were you doing with your body and your hand that was wrong?
Well, the horses that I grew up riding, they would just get to, like, they were headed toward the cow, but they'd get to a spot where they would spot them out there where I could reach. And maybe a coal or two coals. They would try up into a spot to where I wanted to throw.
Sure.
And then whenever I got on that horse, he was really wanting to catch the cow and was a better horse. And I didn't know how to. My swing was just behind. I couldn't get that timing to where roping on the gain. So I
understand.
Had to work on that.
Got it. Absolutely. Now, tell me, how was your dad when you were growing up? Was he intense? He was a team roper himself. Was he all there as a rodeo dad, or was he easy?
No, he was all in. He pushed me pretty hard, which, looking back, it was like he knew he would. My brother, he roped too whenever we was in high school, and he was pretty easy on my brother. He always said that I did better when he got on to me, and my brother was the opposite. He said he couldn't really get on my brother like he got on me, but he said every time that he would get on me, it would seem like it would click, which makes sense now, because if I mess up and I get mad, I usually get better after I'm mad.
Gotcha. So that's kind of your strategy.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. Very good. Now, how important was going to school for you and going to college? Was that just a college rodeo, or was that an intentional backup plan?
Well, honestly, for me, it was more so to college rodeo. My mom my mom and my dad were very adamant about me getting a degree, which I wanted rodeo. It was kind of like back then, it was more of a dream. Like, I didn't really ever see me getting to do it like I wanted to. And then, it's looking back at it now, it's crazy to see where I am now compared to then. It seemed so far-fetched whenever I was in college.
Did you have success in college?
I made the college finals my senior year. I won the region healing for a buddy of mine, Ty Daniel Holler, and made the college finals that year. But my first few years, honestly, I really didn't have my priorities in line. I didn't take it as serious as I needed to, and then it really showed my roping.
Yeah, college rodeo can just be a little too fun, huh?
Yeah, I probably had a little too much fun this first 3 years.
Well, I'm glad you buckled down then. So what made you decide then, going from it just being a dream when you were in college to going for the Rookie of the Year and winning the Rookie of the Year in 2017? How did that realization happen?
Well, it was something that I always wanted to do, and then I circuit rodeoed that winter with Brad Culpepper, and then I wanted to go rodeo, which I didn't have much won, probably 12 or 13,000 I'd won that winter, and Brad had some stuff going on. He had a family and didn't really want to leave home, and Trace Porter called me and asked if I wanted to enter Reno and go that summer, and I was like, even then it seemed far-fetched because I didn't have all that much money, and I told him I wanted to go, that I would go as long as I, had the could afford it. And we left and had a good fourth. And I still remember people asking me, how long are you gonna stay? You gonna stay till Cheyenne? I'm like, man, if I stay till Cheyenne, I've done some winning. And we had a decent fourth that year. Maybe I think we won 7 or 8,000. And that was the first year they had Salt Lake. They and they let whoever was leading the rookie was in. So I was leading the rookie, so I got to get in.
Oh, that's cool.
So we stayed through. We won enough to stay and keep going, and then was getting back pretty low on funds again, and then we won Casper that year. Me and Trace did, and then I did good at Salt Lake, so I got to stay. I stayed all the way through the Northwest.
And you were close to making the finals that year. But you were in the discussion throughout the end of the year.
After Salt Lake, I think I was right around 15th. And then I didn't rope very good that fall. I really didn't rope good at all that fall, and just kind of fell back.
All right, before we go any further into the episode, gotta thank our sponsors at Cactus Ropes. Cactus Ropes has been one of the industry's leading rope producers for the past 25 years, and they're focused on creating specialized products for ropers just beginning to those winning world titles. Be sure to check out their new rope, The Future. It's a 4-strand rope with Cactus's core technology. It's a result of a year of testing and creating with the king of the cowboys, Trevor Brazil. Cactus used manufacturing practices to create perfect balance throughout the rope and an extremely identifiable tip. The Future is available at your local Cactus Ropes dealers and online at cactusropes.com now. So was that motivating for you that you were so close, or was that frustrating for you? Did it discourage you? Tell me how the last 3 years have been until we got to this point.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was frustrating in a way, but it was way more encouraging for me than frustrating, because, like I said, when I left, I had no plan. Like, I was enjoying it. I was glad to be out there. It was getting to do what I wanted to do. And then to come that close and have no plan, it was pretty encouraging for me.
Yeah.
To do that and go that long. And then the next year I came back and we did really good that winter. I think we had like 30,000 when we got to Region 1. And then, I mean, terrible. Roped so bad after that all summer. And so the second year was the year that was probably the most frustrating to me, because I had such a good start.
Yeah.
And it was just really tough the second year, whenever I got home. And then the third year I started out my winter roping with Rich, and we quit roping after I think it was Austin, yeah. And I started roping with Levi. Didn't have a very good winter last year. And then whenever me and Levi started roping, it seemed like we were, it just went good from the beginning. And it's been pretty cool to get to rope with him, and it's been a really good partner. Yeah,
for sure. Now, how did you meet Levi? Just rodeo and you came to know him, or did somebody suggest you two rope?
I had seen him around roping. I didn't really know him. And then he called me last spring. He heard I didn't have a partner and asked me if I wanted to rope. And I was pretty down. I didn't have a very good winter. I was still bummed about the year before, and I was like, man, I really don't really know what I'm gonna do. And I said, we'll rope this spring. I said, I don't really know if I'm going to go rodeo this summer or not yet. And then it seemed like whenever I started roping with him, we did really good whenever we started, and kind of got some confidence back. And so we did go rodeo and came pretty close last year. So it was I was excited to rope with him all year this year.
Very cool. Very cool. Now talk about this year. This was such a hard year. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning. When quarantine hit and as it kind of became clear toward the end of May that this was a long-term situation, that it might, that it was really going to be affecting all the summer rodeos. Did you question whether or not you wanted to go all year? It was very expensive to drive all those places. There was so much money up for grabs. What made you decide to stay hooked?
Well, honestly, it was so up in the air that I didn't know what I was going to do. Didn't have a whole lot won. I think we had 10,000 won before we left, and then, which I'm always one, like I think a guy needs to go over the fourth regardless, and especially this year it seemed like a guy needed to have a really good fourth. A guy could do some catching up with not much. I mean, there was not as many good opportunities after the fourth as there is every year. And fortunately enough for us, we had a good fourth and got caught back up. And that really helped our year, was having a good fourth. We were first team at Oakley, I missed, and then went to Prescott and caught 2 there, then drove to Cody. And we were 5-1. I think we won 3rd or 4th there. And it seemed like after Cody, after that, we didn't seem like we could mess up. I think we placed at Cody, Belfouche. We won Mowbridge, and then placed at another one that week too.
Were the starts pretty friendly for you at the time then? I know they kind of shifted the way they were approaching the start this summer. Was that in your favor, I guess?
Well, it was a little. I did have some doubts before
Mm-hmm.
they when they said they were going to do it, but my horse he helped me so much. He's pretty free and tries to catch the cow. Like, he's not trying to cheat me ever. So he made it pretty easy on me over the fourth and really the whole summer.
Yeah. I gotcha. Now, when did it become clear to you that this was going to happen, that the NFR was going to happen for you?
Well, honestly, I've had that feeling where I was like last year. I had that feeling where it was going good. I felt like we had a chance, and then this year I didn't want to get that feeling this year too soon. I knew we had a big chance, but I knew we still had to keep catching and doing our job. So I think at Mineral Wells we were 3-7 over there, and that was when I got like that feeling like that I'd made it.
Mm-hmm. Now I know you don't have anything to compare it to as far as making the NFR goes, but do you feel cheated at all that you're not getting to go to Vegas, or do you feel extra special that you're getting to go to Arlington? Where are you on that spectrum?
I'm honestly, it doesn't bother me. I mean, it's not Vegas, what you grow up watching your whole life, but I'm pretty excited about Arlington, because if it does never move again, I'll be able to say, like, hey, I got to go to Arlington. I think that'll be a pretty cool deal. As far as like right now, getting prepared for the finals, I don't like that I can't ask somebody what to expect, like, because nobody really knows what to expect. Like, I don't like that feeling of not knowing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the steers are going to be strong. The start's going to be just a little bit longer than usual. Are you going to stick with that horse that you've got that's so free that lets you do your job?
It's between 2. I got 2 that I really like. I have a sorrel that I got from Jake that he rode the last few rounds at the 15 NFR, and he's pretty good at going fast. I don't I honestly don't know what I'm going to start out on right now or what I'm going to ride. It's going to be hard to get off the gray, but I really like the sorrel too.
What did he call that horse? Which one is that?
It's Short Go. He rode him. He hadn't rode him in a few years. He kind of got hurt, hurt his knee a little bit, and he hasn't rode him much the last few years. But I ended up getting him, and he's really I really like him.
Gotcha. Now, are you gonna have a bunch of family and friends in Arlington? Were they able to get tickets? How was that?
Oh yeah, I think the whole state of Alabama is going to be there. My mom and dad, they're going to come for the whole time, and then some family friends. My parents, they rented a house there in Dallas, and they're going to be there the whole time, and then different people coming in and out. My siblings will be there, so I feel like I'm going to have a pretty deep cheering section.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you have any phobias before the NFR? Is there like anything that you're particularly worried about?
Honestly, I don't have, other than not expecting, like as far as the roping goes, no, it's the more of the, I don't want to miss an obligation or like something that I don't know that I'm supposed to do. And miss it not knowing. That's what worries me the most, honestly.
I gotcha. Well, hopefully there's not too many. I've heard different things about how much you guys are going to have to sign or not sign this year, given 2020's COVID situation. So hopefully it's not too overwhelming.
I haven't heard much about what we're going to have to do. So
yeah. Now, how long have you used the cactus rope?
I've been on cactus. I got on with them the first year I rodeoed in 17, and then but I was using them 2 or 3 years before that. So I've I've been with them for a while.
Which rope did you use this year?
This year, which I don't really I can kind of go back and forth, but I guess my favorite rope would be the mini thrill.
Gotcha. That's I hear a lot of guys say that.
Well, I kind of like a smaller rope. Like in the summertime, I use the C4, and that's kind of what I used for a long time. I would just use the C4, and then they come out with the cores, and started using the mini thrills, and I really like these.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Nelson, thank you so much for your time. I'm very excited for you, and I'm very excited that you were on the score today. So I hope you have a great NFR prep, and we will see you in Arlington in 3 weeks, I think, at this point. That's getting close.
Yes, ma'am. I'm excited about it, and I'm ready to be out there, honestly.
I bet.
Ready to get after it.
It's absolutely. It'll get rolling, and those 10 days will go so slow for the first 24 to 48 hours, and then they will just fly on by. So
sure.
We'll have a good practice. Tell Jake I said hi.
Yes, ma'am, I will. I appreciate you having me.
All right. Thanks, Nelson. Bye-bye.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
This episode was brought to you by Cactus Ropes at cactusropes.com. Cactus has a reputation for making the best feeling team ropes in the industry for the last 3 decades. With the introduction of the new Cactus Cortex ropes, ropers will not only get the same great feeling of Cactus ropes, but also find the perfect head rope and heel rope with added durability and consistency. Check them out, cactusropes.com.